You're listening to Empire of Rust, the world's first and only Transformers RPG podcast. Join the heroes of Iacon as they defend Cybertronian civilization from the remnants of Cybertron First to Lord Starscream's egotistical leadership, and beyond to the unknown threats on the other side of distant stars.
Welcome back, everyone, to Empire of Rust, the first and still greatest Transformers RPG podcast. And today is a special episode because we are all planning on going to see Rise of the Beasts in the next week or two. Coming out in just like 2 weeks. 2 weeks? Yeah, 2 weeks. Actually, there must be another episode before it comes out. It's realized.
Do what?
Yeah.
What's going on?
There might be another episode before the movie comes out. This comes out on the 20. This is on the 22nd,
yeah.
And the movie comes out the 9th.
So yeah, we'll be planning to see the movie.
So in 2 episodes, you're definitely going to get a lot of information about how much we liked it and lots of spoilers. Like that. So just make sure you insist on that.
Better see it fast.
We're going to hold you to that, Mike.
Because
I'm honestly tempted to. Well, actually, I'm tempted to to wait on the release and record something and just pop in the front of the next one. Hello from the future.
Yeah, we don't like giving spoilers. We love giving spoilers.
But we just took a look at the trailers again for Rise of the Beast. And what'd you guys think? This will be the first. This is the first Transformers movie you'll have seen in probably quite a while, right?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Unless you count the ones that re-air on TV, all the damn time.
Well, Adam, what was the last one you saw?
I would say it was the one with the dragons there.
Last night?
The last night. Thank you.
We didn't want to know what you watched last night. When was the last time you watched the Transformers movie?
Transformers: The Last Night was the movie. So it wasn't just Transformers. It was Transformers: The Last Night.
And talking about his colon again. Bad enough your chair.
So what'd you guys think of the trailer? Is it looking good? What's your thoughts?
I thought it looked very interesting. I mean, I like the kind of old school, look like the cartoon sort of stuff. And in that regard, I think they did a very good job. You're just when you see that tractor trailer truck, I'm like, wow, it looks like the fucking toy from back in the day. And it's just that was really, yeah. I mean, I haven't seen the last 2 major ones. I think the last one I saw was with, I
think
Leonard
we went out to
voicing.
We went out to see Dark of the Moon, I think, together. I think
maybe. I think that might have been.
I think
with
Adam. I think we were up at Adam's place, and we went early to see it before role playing or something like that.
Yeah,
just
you
for the
probably
hell
went
of
to
it.
a local theater around here, right?
Yeah, you remember that?
Yeah,
I remember. I definitely saw it. I definitely saw it in person, and I know some of my friends were there. It's probably
right.
At least Adam was there. I don't know if you were there.
I'm not sure. I actually don't remember that. I did see the Bumblebee one, the more recent one, and I enjoyed that, more than the Michael Bay stuff.
Quite universally held opinion. I have. That one.
So it looks cool, I'm not going to lose sleep if it sucks,
Yeah. I'm a little concerned that they have too many bots in the movie to really focus on any. I mean, there's Prime, there's Other Prime,
right?
Bumblebee, RC, at least 3 of the Beast Wars characters.
Mirage.
Yep.
And when I was watching him drive and then drive backwards and then transform so he's face first, I'm thinking that should be a feat. That's actually what I was thinking when I saw that. Not sure how useful it would be, but
It transform without killing passenger.
What about you, Mike? What'd you think?
I like that the Transformers look like Transformers. That's always good.
Yeah.
Not like this amalgamation of parts.
No, I hated that.
Did you see any of the old stuff?
Yeah, I watched the first two movies, and after the robot with the balls, I was just like, nope, I'm done. It's just too stupid.
That's fair.
I did watch Bumblebee, though. That one was good. I enjoyed that.
Nice, very
But
nice.
again, they actually looked like Transformers.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And the opening scene was probably my favorite, the one on Cybertron.
Oh, yeah.
Mm,
That was a great.
that was very fun. Yep. Yeah, the Bumblebee movie was very good. I will say that the designs of the Transformers in movies 4 and 5, they do look more like Transformers than they had from the first 3. Just because I think the story is like they had to like pull back like the camera because of the 3D effects that they were doing. So they couldn't have the camera like shoved right up next to like the robot's like abs and just looking upwards the entire time.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like especially in 4 and 5, at least like there was a lot more color to the designs. They felt a lot more unified, like for each design. So like you could tell who was who.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was the difficult part on the Bay movies. You couldn't tell who was who. They just all looked the same.
Yeah.
Yep, and you couldn't tell what they were doing either because again, it was just this massive parts.
I also
Blur
thought like there was
machinery.
just like a lot of stupid shit. Like when they were like, "Oh, we took the design and we improved upon it by turning it into a nano cloud that gets destroyed literally easier than any of the other Transformers." Like, why didn't you just go like, zoop? Oh, like that many died, and then the rest keep going. Like, if you're gonna at least make the claim, then do it. You know, but whatever. What do I know?
Transformium, yeah,
Is that what they called it?
yeah, they did.
Oh God.
Not the shining moment of that franchise.
Is that the midichlorians of Transformers?
Wow.
Ooh.
Yep.
So who's Jar Jar
Yeah,
Binks then?
The 2 racist caricatures in the second movie. That's Jar Jar.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I don't know. I mean, frankly, nothing jumped out at me in this last one we watched. I was like, ooh, I have to watch it because of this. Like the previous one, the Bumblebee one, when I saw the trailer with all the on Cybertron, I was like, all right. Ironically, I haven't seen that yet, but that really got me stoked. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this trailer, but nothing did the same. You know.
All right, fair enough.
I mean, it'd be cool to see RC if she's actually a true main character.
Yeah, that would be nice. I would like to see that.
The van that she's riding next to is supposed to be Wheeljack.
Oh.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's cool.
Really?
Yep.
All right. Yeah. All right. Yeah, because
He was a race car.
band originally, wasn't he? No.
It was a race car.
Who was I thinking
Actually,
of?
you're probably thinking of like the first 3 episodes, like first episode of the cartoon, when he did like transform into like this kind of like Cybertronian van.
Oh.
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah.
So it's interesting that you kind of do that as a callback because that is something that it could be based off of. Or
I
is
remember
the
watching the
idea.
cartoon, man. One of them. Couple times, maybe.
Well, speaking of being carried, Pythagoras carried you through the last skill challenge there, didn't he?
I didn't even participate. He more like dragged me.
I mean, he's
You know, I need to get little scorecards scorecards to hold up whenever you do a segue. Yeah.
Don't worry. I'll print off a bunch of 10s for you.
Which will quickly become ones.
I have a pair of scissors. I'd get some 1s and 0s out of that.
Pythagoras just checked out Metrotitan's brain and found that Starscream had hacked into it millions of years ago and has been either monitoring or reprogramming or messing up his mind ever since they first met back during the golden age of Cybertron. Now, I'll give you because I think you had said you wanted to do some examinations of like how long Metrotitan had been here, and kind of to try using that to corroborate his story. So what I'll do is I'll give you a chance to do a physical science check, and if anyone wants to help out, you can do that. And we'll see if you can piece 2 and 2 together on this as to what you think is going on.
Wait, we have to do math too? I don't have that skill.
Just make your math roll. That's all I gotta do.
Where's the math roll on the sheet?
If you don't have it, then that's a problem.
Actually, that may be a problem. But I have a solution. And it figures...
+1 from Nico.
I rolled an 11, so I had +2.
How did I get +1 from Nico anyway? I didn't think you could get a +1 for aid.
+2.
Oh. This is really when I wish could see your face. Rewind a bit. Did he say +1 or is it my imagination?
I think Mike would be pretty slack-jawed at that moment, just being like,
Who's aiding me? +1, +2, +2, +1.
So I got a 2 from Pat, a 2 from Carapace, a 2 from Nico. I think that's it, right? 38 total. Physical science. I want to know what's real, what's not, and how long has he been here.
So this is going to take you a little bit of time, and you're going to have to actually go outside, take some soil samples, do some comparisons, look through Metrotitan's memories a bit, and you can do this with Windblade's help because she is still there and acting as a translator for you, kind of keeping all of Metrotitan's thoughts kind of in line so you can actually do this.
We ain't got time for that. Let's do a science montage.
I would just want to make sure that Metrotitan is cool with this before we screw around too much with his brain. So
if he wasn't, he'd tell Windblade for you.
Okay, well, I want to be polite and make sure I ask him, you know. Don't be rude to the 17 million ton piece of metal.
He knows we don't know what we're doing, right?
how is Windblade reacting to this? Like, is she sitting there going like, he set himself an alley-oop from a fucking million years ago? Like,
I know, fucking Starscream, jeez. Who thought he'd be that forward-thinking?
Windblade is honestly like this is like the best possible news for her campaign, because although she was already like starting to lead in the polls and really starting to push ahead, especially with Prime's endorsement, this is just the final nail in the coffin for Starscream, because if she goes public with this information, he's not going to have any support. Except for maybe some loyalist Decepticons, but yeah, like the moment she goes public with this, it's gonna screw him so badly. So even though she's horrified that he did this, she's also not really shocked that he would.
Right.
None of us are. I think we're only shocked
of screwing and shock and awe. Wild Strike, stop that.
I think the only shocking bit was that it was so long ago that it was planned.
That's actually a good question for Wild Strike. So don't forget, Wild Strike. I mean, like, Starscream is the leader of the Seekers, like the elite force that you are part of. What's going through your head on this? This is effectively like finding out like your boss has done this. Like, you know, think of like who your boss is at work and just imagine if they set up something to like a decade ago to help them. And like this is the kind of thing that's happening. What's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, like Wild Strike knows that, you know, Starscream is, you know, always out for himself. That's kind of obvious. And he sets up, like, he bombed Sweet Spot. You know, we have evidence of that happening. Mm-hmm. He practically admitted it to me. So I know he's capable of some shady things, but this is actually quite impressive. This is a long con. He's usually, you know, short-term thinking. This is very impressive.
Yeah, usually it's like I'm going to mouth off to Megatron for the NTth time, you know.
Exactly.
Although,
take somebody out and blame somebody for it, kind of thing. But this is like millions of years in the making.
Mm-hmm.
Or time travel.
Kind of makes you wonder what other plans that what other like irons in the fire that he's had.
Yeah, exactly.
Stop trying to make us second guess ourselves that we won't go and confront him about it, because we will.
We just want to make sure.
Maybe we're part of his plan.
Maybe.
Well, if us killing him is part of his plan, I am totally down for that.
I don't suppose there's a such thing as time travel in this universe.
Oh, don't start that again.
Not that you've heard of.
I remember the last time you went off on your time travel tangent. Oh, wait, you haven't done that yet. Never mind.
I was just going to say that. Well done.
That'll come yesterday.
0 point for Adam.
Ha ha! Don't know what I'm going to do with this, but I'll put it on the shelf right over there.
All right, Pythagoras, you wanted to figure out what is going on in the situation. And with some time, with a probably several hours worth of investigating, and assuming no one else has any issues with it, you'll spend the time to do it. What's going to happen is you'll find that Metrotitan arrived here on Earth very recently. Probably right after he supposedly blew up under Cybertron when he had announced that Starscream's ability to lead. So this is the timeline that you are going to put together. For thousands, if not million years, he has been stuck on a planet called Theophany. And that part is true, and you're able to confirm this both with the kind of metallurgical analyses and knowing what you had heard from the crew of the Lost Light when they made a visit back to Cybertron a few years ago. So you believe that part is 100% true. He likely had either crashed or had kind of just put down for repairs on that planet a long time ago. When the call and the signal that Cybertron had been reborn was issued probably a good 10 to 15 years ago, and all of the neutrals and the unaligned people started coming back to Cybertron, Metrotitan heard this call, but he didn't have the power necessary to actually teleport back to the planet or to fly off and to return. A couple years later, that's when the crew of the Lost Light showed up, and they aided him, provided a power boost to him, and gave him enough power for a short-term space bridge jump from Theophany to Cybertron. And he made it. Unfortunately, he was in such a low-power state that he didn't make it just directly where he wanted. He actually miscalculated the jump and ended up fused with part of the planet. That part all tracks with what you've heard already. Because when Prowl had discovered him in the caverns underneath Cybertron, he tried to keep it hidden. Starscream got wind of it, and he got there, and Starscream talked to him for a moment. And even though Prowl tried to keep it under wraps, like I told you guys before, there were other bots there with them, and it quickly became public knowledge. Now, what you're putting together right now is that it's unlikely that Metrotitan actually believed that he was capable of ruling, and it was likely because of whatever device that Starscream had done to mess with his mind. So you think that device altered his personality to a point where over the course of time, his positive feelings and his positive vibes towards Starscream just increased and increased over time. So by the time he saw him again, after millions of years, he was like, yes, Starscream is my best friend here, and he is a very noble and righteous Cybertronian. So of course he has the ability, and not just the ability, but the right, almost like the divine right to lead. that is likely why he said the things that he did. Now, the explosion, and I'll use the explosion in quotes, wasn't truly an explosion. Like, he didn't die or anything for it. What happened is, like, his energon interacted with the substrate of Cybertron and the natural energon deposits there, and it activated his space bridge, and he teleported again, this time teleporting to Earth, kind of in a similar situation where he kind of like mis-teleported and ended up in the ground somewhere. And that is where Prime reawakened him using effectively the power of the Primes as the last living Prime. So the entire idea that Metrotitan endorsed Starscream was a fabrication on Starscream's part. And not just a straight lie. He did actually believe what he said. But the reasoning that he used to get there was flawed because it was altered by Starscream. And you think that the device, for some reason, either did not teleport with him correctly, or something else happened to it as he, maybe even Starscream like managed to sneak in and take it out just before the explosion on Cybertron, before he teleported away. But either way, you don't think that the device came with him when he teleported.
Do we think that Starscream set him up to teleport the second time to get rid of him, or?
It's possible. Yeah.
Man. All right.
This is like kind of like a Manchurian candidate. Like he was like a sleeper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just didn't know.
If all of Manchuria was one candidate.
Yeah, right.
Man.
It's the Manchuria candidate.
And it does reek of a really long-term planning strategy from Starscream. And it may have been something that like he just kind of set up just in case he needed it someday.
Yeah, I mean, he had access to a Titan brain. He stuck it in there just in case, maybe.
Carapace's perspective, I'm kind of like hats off. Like, this is brilliant. Like, you know, he's a survivor. You know, like I obviously he's a dick, but like this is brilliant. Like, you know, I know I wouldn't have had the forethought.
Who does that?
So with all this knowledge, like what's the next step? And again, this takes hours to go through. So we'll say that it takes the rest of the day effectively to piece all this together, because there's a lot of research and a lot of like fact checking that you need to do. And we'll even say, just for the sake of this example here, that all of you helped out with it. Maybe some of you did some research with Pythagoras kind of leading off the investigation. So
collecting rocks and stuff. Oh my goodness. Well, so I mean, I think we got him by the short hairs. We just got to decide how to proceed.
Ouch.
So, question. This is maybe a little out of character. Sweet spot. Do you actually intend to become like the ruler of Cybertron? Like, is that something that you would actually like to happen? Or do you think that Windblade would be the better candidate right now?
Windblade would most likely be the better candidate, being more familiar with the political landscape and the current cultural needs of the people.
Because I figured if you ran as like her vice president, like that would practically ensure the win. And I know coming in second is kind of not your thing, but you know, when you're choosing to, is it okay?
Yeah, well, as vice president, you'll have plenty of time to do adventuring with us.
Carapace, I dare say you've learned to feed me a spoonful of sugar to help the insult go down. I believe you are correct. And regarding the nature of the conversation currently, I scarcely believe that I am saying that.
I recorded it for posterity, so...
I guess the question is, do you guys want to try to win the election before we blow Starscream out of the water, or do we go public and destroy him politically? Or do we confront him with this privately first? I know Wildstrike had definitely had a certain way he wanted to put the nail in the coffin, so to speak, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
And now
What was
we
that
definitely have the
again?
tools.
Wildstrike, what was your final intention for delivering the so-called killing blow?
Nico, I'll have him transform into the gun. Hold it up.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it, boss. I got this.
I think Nico will do the trick.
2 shots. Right to the head. Bam, bam.
All right, so private confrontation
Why
it
not
is.
kill the president? But a queen. You guys ever see Unforgiven?
Yes.
Ah,
Yes.
amazing
know.
movie. So good.
Nobody come out. I'll shoot you. I'll shoot your dog.
Yeah. Shoot him and all his friends. Burn his damn house down.
All right. If we're going to confront him, we need some insurance, though. We need to be able to release this to the public regardless of what happens. So now, you think we could?
If only we knew a reporter that has kind of a vendetta against him. Oh, right. We have one.
We totally do. And incidentally, that reporter could be secretly recording the whole confrontation for the benefit of the public at large.
Are you guys actually saying we should recruit the lamp form or wave later?
Right, we walk into the whole thing and throw him down like he's our prisoner. And we have him as evidence and proof and all of that, and then just pile it on one after the other. Meanwhile, he's recording the whole thing, so
Yeah.
I mean, if we hadn't just destroyed his greatest friendship, I think that probably would work.
We probably could fix that. But
well,
the
getting
question
the
is, do
exclusive.
we want to let him go scot-free after this? Because that's what we'll have to do,
Right. Well, getting the exclusive on the story of the downfall of the president should be enough to let the poor little bot reclaim his reputation as a reporter.
Yeah, I mean, that could be our price. You will go scot-free. We will not murder you, A. B, you'll get to keep your reputation and your job and not go to jail. I think those are plenty more than enough.
Just don't assassinate people anymore.
Yeah, stop it. I mean, we're not really that different, I suppose. We just have to do a little, marital counseling or whatever.
Yeah.
I can handle
we'll
that.
do that.
I'm Mr.
Right.
Charm. I'm Mr. Relationship.
Let's go see the prisoner and get him released to our custody, and then directly go to see Starscream.
Well, let's work with...
Wait. Are we going this fast? I feel that's a little quick.
We need to prepare our information blast, too, though, and we have to decide what Windblade's going to do. Because, I mean, she's an interested party here, and she probably has an opinion.
I do not think I should ally myself with her until Starscream's fall is assured. Because otherwise, it would seem like I was doing it for her interest alone.
Actually, I have an idea about none of us interested parties should be the one to release this information. But like you said, we have reporters. We could do a pre-recorded session with Lamplighter and Waveform where they spill the story and include the big information dump for everyone to see, and then set that up to be released remotely to the press. It'll come from a quote-unquote neutral press member. Only trouble is there's a lot of people who saw us beat Lamplighter and Whatchamadoozy up.
You do have a couple of other reporters that you could potentially use, Circuit and Longtooth.
Yeah, that's true.
Indeed.
Yeah, they probably deserve it more, too.
They have been quite amiable to our goals and agendas in the past.
What do you think Prime would do if he'd learned about this? Like, is he a planet-ruling type? Like, I don't really see it.
He's not in the election, so, I mean, he probably would be.
Yeah,
if he was interested.
If that was his idea, he would have been involved in it from the start.
Right.
I'll give you this because you've seen kind of the result of this over the last a few in-game weeks. Prime has been kind of frozen out from the rulership and the power structure of Cybertron, partly because of Starscream's doing. His power right now is not political or official in nature. It's just it's only because he's a religious figure right now. So if he tells someone to do something, especially if they're one of the colonists, they will likely do it. But he wields no official power on Cybertron.
Sort of like the Robo-Pope.
Yeah,
Or maybe
kinda.
not. I mean, it's sort of more like maybe like the Dalai Lama, that he has no political structure, but everyone, it's all complete respect and reverence.
Exactly. And again, all of you have kind of seen Starscream kind of push Prime out of the official official capacity, official powers of Cybertron, likely very intentionally, and not without just cause either. I mean, he's not an elected ruler or anything like that. He's not like a representative or anything. He's just a person right now.
He's a private citizen of influence, I guess. Maybe we just do our thing and let him do what he decides to do. I'm not sure if he can add to our plan, what do you guys think of? Get these reporter guys to say, we'll give you the story of the millennia if you keep your mouth shut about it until we tell you to. And then give them all the information to release when we say. I think they'll probably hold it down until we say, so just because they're getting the big exclusive. And then we can go twist Starscream's arm or whatever we feel like doing. I don't know what should we demand of him? Just to kneel down so Wild Strike could shoot him in the face. It's not bad. Or just say drop out of the race or we'll ruin you. I mean, then ruin him anyway.
I think he definitely needs to be taken out of power, though I'm not 100% on board with just killing him outright.
Icing him.
Though, should we bring all of this to his attention and he attacks us, I'm all for defending ourselves.
I mean, strictly speaking, going and talking to him at all is may not have a purpose
It's an act of aggression. Let's be honest.
Well, it is. Yeah, it is. We need it. We sort of say need a goal though. If we go confront him personally, we need a reason, even if it's just to kick his ass. But
we certainly shouldn't poke the bear unless we use the bear to poke him.
What?
Oh, that's an interesting opportunity you just created there. She's got an irrational vendetta against him anyway.
She does. So I've heard.
I mean, theoretically, just releasing this information, especially from a neutral party, would be enough to ruin him politically in all means.
Right.
Without us visiting him at all. Now, I know a lot of people here have personal reasons to go visit him, but I mean, I guess the question is, if he did this, can he be arrested?
Well, let's see. What do we think Starscream's move would be should he be exposed? Because he's the type of bot that would probably think about that and have a plan in place. Would he flee? Would he fight? Would he try to reverse it on his aggressors? Make it all seem like a fabrication on their part? All of the above?
Yeah, quite possible. Yeah, and any of that's possible. He's certainly savvy enough to try to respond politically.
I mean, do we care? Like, my understanding is, like, if you do this, if you release this thing, he's going to be fucked, And whether or not he goes down without a fight or with a fight, like, do we care?
Well, I think the only plausible reason that we might have to go visit him is if as ostensible members of law enforcement, it would be to I was about to ask if I could roll like a professional lawyer to see what laws he might have broken, given the information we've uncovered.
Are you trying to do the right thing? Is that what you're doing right now?
I'm trying to come up
I do believe it is.
Trying to come up with a reason to go beat him up.
I guess the idea is like, what would you guys gain by, like, you would only confront him if you wanted to gain something specific, because we can destroy him by sending an email right now. So it's like, what's the thing, like, if we go in there and say, hey, what are you going to do if we don't do this? Like, what would the absolute win be?
I mean, is there anything that that he could give that would be worth it for us not to do that? Because I'm not seeing anything. I don't think he could. I don't think he could pay us enough. Hey, can I just do I know what the hell? I'll do a professional lawyer role. If that's all right with you, Mike?
Absolutely, go for it.
And figure out what laws he might be breaking, or which ones he isn't breaking.
Political engineering.
So I got a
murder
29. I mean, not even counting the Steelhaven thing. The Steelhawk Landing thing. Because we got that too.
Based on the evidence you have so far, he's easily broken several dozen laws. Granted, before he took over as ruler of the planet, there's kind of this kind of weird, squishy little kind of thing about crimes committed during the war, and for the most part, crimes before the Cybertronian government was established are generally not prosecutable, at least right now. And it's just acts that took place during wartime. But there is more than enough evidence to hold him accountable for the things that took place after the Cybertronian government came into being, which includes the murder of Metalhawk. Simply because even though the official government hadn't been established by that point, Metalhawk was still a very popular person who could have won the election very easily, and public opinion at that point would have been a really, really a big problem for him.
So you're saying that all the war stuff is literally bots will be bots?
It's wartime amnesty. I mean, that's sort of the thing. I mean, that sort of happens with every country. I mean, it's like, if you have two countries are not going to be able to ever make a peace talk if they continually prosecute each other's generals and stuff like that. I mean, there's probably going to be a few, well, we'll go to peace if you give me asshole A, that sort of thing. Especially since no one really won or lost completely, in this case. What probable reaction of law enforcement when this comes out is what's his face? Iron Face?
Ironhide?
I was about to say Iron Pants, but yeah, it's
God, Matt.
I can't believe I blanked on Ironhide.
You think that Ironhide will likely attempt to arrest him, not only for crimes committed, but the fact that he's Starscream as well. So even though Ironhide attempts to at least remain neutral in a lot of these cases, and he does treat former Decepticons pretty fairly, this is fucking Starscream, and that he's got, he doesn't like him at all. He works with him because he's the ruler of the planet, but all of this evidence is going to give him a very clear and justified reason to arrest him.
Well, I mean, who do
we think would win in a fight between Ironhide and Starscream? I know Ironhide's tough, but
I mean, Starscream could just fly away if it's going badly.
You have a profession soldier, don't you? Or a profession bodyguard or something?
No, you didn't allow that rule.
Could he roll versus his class level as his skill, as say his level 8 in soldier or whatever you are, or you're whatchamajingy,
8th level load bearer, 1st level soldier. Yeah, it's okay. I mean, maybe that would be culture, you think?
Yeah, still culture. Why not?
I mean, I'm
Makes
awful
sense.
at that, but hey, fuck, 19.
I can aid you.
So that is a 28.
+2.
Jesus Christ, man. 30.
Nice.
You think that while Ironhide is very tough, and if it came down to a physical brawl between the two, Ironhide will likely come out on top. But you know that Starscream's not going to let it get to that point. Right. He's got a bunch of technological things on him that could very easily put him down. And like Matt said, if it looked like it was going badly for him, he would just fly away.
Right. And also keep in mind, like, he does have, like, that personal bodyguards of, like, so he's going to have, like, 4 to 8 wild strikes with him that we're going to have to deal with. So I'm not saying we shouldn't do it. I want you guys to know the danger that you're in.
Well, I mean, we could bring in law enforcement before we release the information. Have them all ready to pounce. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hardly, not exactly a epic battle for us, unless we need to help them, capture them, which would be fun.
Yeah.
How about we do that? We time it so that it's released, and then we're in on the capture of Starscream. And if Wildstrike happens to kick him in the head or shoot him in the head in the process, fewer tears shed, you know?
Yeah, that could work.
So I want each of you to kind of give me just a statement as to what you're going to do for short term, like what is your plan, and then I want you to think about kind of what. Because like I said, like Ironhide, if Ironhide gets to wind of this, he's likely just going to go and arrest him. He's likely going to have you guys help him out with this too. So tell me, at least right now in short term, what do you want to do? What's like the short-term action items? We'll start with Carapace first. So again, just short-term action item as to what needs to get done before you put this plan into motion.
I want to go look for Swampstone.
You want the Swampstone?
Yeah, that's my priority. But I respect that this thing would happen. I personally don't care. Like, that's the thing. Like, Cybertron is not my planet. Starscream is a dick, but he's a clever one. I mean, in my book, that's what makes you, capable of ruling. So maybe he's right, But that being said, I like you guys. So I would like to see you guys have your dreams come to fruition. So,
do you really like us?
No, that's why it was difficult for me to say.
Only slightly.
And that was difficult to hear.
Yeah.
But we could definitely help you find Swamp Face after this.
I mean, I guess what I would just do, while you guys are talking about this, because I don't think I would be useful, I'm going to go and talk to Prime, because I know he's an important person and hears shit. I'm just going to be like, listen, I'm looking for this guy named Swampstone. We got to go do a thing to free your planet. Can you give me a message when we're done?
Yes, Carapace, I can do that for you. You would like to know the location of Swampstone?
Yes.
Very well. I will ask my followers and see if we can locate him for you.
I am in awe of the power of the last Prime.
Oh.
Oh, go on.
Okay, and then I'll leave. Like, go on.
I'm just a soldier.
Shut up, Ultramagnus.
Yet he called them followers.
Yeah.
He knows what's going on.
Yeah. So I'll do that. I will support you guys in whatever you do. This is above my pay grade. So,
one thing Carapace could do is, and anybody who's here that's good at fighting could do, is if we're planning on being part of a major arrest, equipment ideas, tactical ideas, stuff we should bring with us,
Okay. I can work with that.
That's what.
Geez, would anybody that has influence or power on this planet want Starscream taken down? And would they actually lend us some things in order to drop the hammer on him? I can't think of anybody.
Maybe.
I can't think of anyone. Like, no one.
We're gonna have to get that little Wild Strike launcher that we've been hoping for.
I know.
All right. Speaking of Wild Strike, same question to you. What do you want to do to prepare for this? And again, give me just kind of like a short-term like action item that you're going to be working on.
If we're going to contact Ironhide and arrest him, I mean, if there's anything we need for that, nothing I can think of.
You definitely need to work on your victory speech there.
We need to contact Wildhide directly. We shouldn't go through any communication channels on the off chance it'll get back to
Wildhide?
That's what I said.
Yeah, okay.
Sometimes it's somehow much more significant when Adam did it. It was a special moment for me.
Where you lead, I shall follow.
Who is more foolish? The fool that follows him.
Oh, definitely you. You're foolish all day long. Every day, best at it. Can't tip my hat enough to you. Grand.
Thank you very much.
So, Mike, you want to have Wild Strike then head on over to Ironhides when you get back to Cybertron, and you want to deliver the news to him in person?
Yeah, I can do that when we get back.
Okay. Do you want to take like all copies of all the evidence and everything with you that you haven't given to him so far?
Yeah, probably be best to do that.
Okay. All right. So that is going to be you. What is a Sweet Spot going to be doing? Give me an action item that Sweet Spot's going to do.
I suppose I could get with Ironhide about freezing Starscream's security clearance just before
I like the idea.
Getting it.
However, Wild Strike is already talking to Ironhide.
All
Why
right.
don't you do the other guy, Zaron?
Zaron. You know what? I think I would like to do that and maybe talk to anyone else that would be kind of high up on the council. Like, is there a specific safe house designated for Starscream that he might retreat to should he get away? It'd be really kind of cool to be there waiting for him.
That tunnel underground.
A little hatch that Wild Strike noticed. Wild Strike noticed
Like
the hatch when
that's-
he was in there.
Likely that's where he's gonna flee to or how he's gonna get there, kind of unnoticed, unseen. But to already be in the spot waiting for him, if we know exactly his location that he's going to go to,
I like
if
that.
there's one designated specifically for him.
Yeah, I would like that.
Suggestion for Sweet Spot before prior going back to Earth, going back to Cybertron. You might be really good at enlisting the help of these reporters and getting them to basically give them the information, but not have them release it yet.
That would be an actionable thing to do first. While they're
you got the
within
charm.
reach.
I mean, Magnum could do it, but he.
Sounds good to me. All right. And we'll do that in just a moment. And lastly, for Magnum and Pythagoras, what's your short-term action item before you head back to Cybertron?
I mean, probably I was thinking mainly taking all this information and putting it together sort of in a package that I could then duplicate. Something that's like easy to distribute, could be distributed, given or transmitted all at one bunch, so that the reporters can send that out. We can also hand this to Ironhide and everybody else. So just sort of information organization and then basically creating some data slugs that has it on there and so forth. The more places this information goes, the less likely it can be stopped. So, because there's a lot of data here, we need to put it together in sort of a coherent fashion. To someone who sees it, they'll see the point right away, and then they'll have all the information they need too.
Okay. So you're going to do that before you guys leave?
I don't see any reason not to. I'm assuming Wild Strike, you have all that extra information if you want to include that.
I figure we'll include everything.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to make sure that's your stuff. I want to make sure it's all right with you.
I mean, this is the time to use it and take them down.
This is the info bomb.
All right, so you take probably. We'll kind of fast forward this to the next day, because again, you've taken a lot of time to kind of confirm all this information and to do your research. So at the start of the next day, and maybe even overnight a little bit, Pythagoras, you're putting all of the information together in kind of like a narrative, showing kind of timeline start to finish, laying out a very clear a path of evidence, a very clear trail as to what he did, and incorporating all the information you have. What actually I want to do is I want you to give me a roll. Let's actually see what's going to be useful for this. It's kind of like going to be like a craft check almost, like something where you're building something.
Engineering?
Do you have anything that'll work with that?
I mean, engineering might be something.
I think engineering is more for like physical things. I'm thinking more like creating like video footage, creating kind of like a story narrative.
And computers?
Like
Culture?
Yeah, computers. So we don't have like craft poetry much in this game.
Right.
Performance.
I'm okay with you doing a computer check, and if anyone wants to aid and you want to use something different, just let me know and we'll see what you can come up with. If any of you have like some kind of like crafting skill, then feel free to use it as well.
Nika will aid with computers.
All right.
Natural 20, baby.
+2.
Nice.
Anybody else?
I mean, do you feel I don't know if I'm really qualified for helping with this.
Okay.
Which is a shame, because I would have added 4.
Well, Niko's help will be good regardless. So that is going to be a 37.
Woo. Very nice. And you'll have to remember this for next time, because you got high enough. I am going to give you give anyone a +2 to all rolls to convince people to help you against Starscream, because the narrative that you established was so persuasive that it doesn't leave a lot to doubt.
So +2 to getting help from anyone versus Starscream.
Yep, and I'll be generous with it. Like if you're trying to convince someone to say like, hey, you should, help me to arrest this guy. Just show them like the evidence for it. Like, yeah, that's makes perfect sense. All right, I'm on board.
All right, I just threw something in the Discord just to remind us. All right, awesome. Thank you.
And next, before we head back to Cybertron's sweet spot, you said you wanted to talk to some people here, I think the reporters, before you started heading off to try to convince them of your goals.
That's right. We do want to get as much of the reporting power behind us when we're going forward with our confrontation. So the two that I know of that adore me and I adore them are Circuit. Yeah, Circuit and Longtooth.
Nicely done. Yep. What do you want to say to them? I imagine you catch them kind of as they are kind of packing up to leave for Cybertron in the morning.
All right. I will catch up with them and hold on there. Where are you two going? Quite so fast.
Ambassador, I had plenty of questions for you last night, but you snuck right off. If you have a moment of free time, I'd love to ask you some more questions. Longtooth, are you recording? Are you on?
Of course.
Good. Keep going.
I would like to ask you to hold this off the record for a moment.
Very well. Longtooth, pause.
Gonna be worth it, jackass.
Thank you very much. Now, you know...
Longtooth like saunters off, kind of upset. It's like, God, it's my one fucking job here, seriously.
I do adore you both, right? You are some of my most favorite Transformers in all of Cybertron.
Longtooth gives you the finger on the way out.
Well, Circuit, you do realize how much I appreciate your technique and your professionalism in your craft.
Ambassador, you are certainly the flatterer.
Well, I do have cause for it, and I do like to watch out for my very favorite bots. For instance, I have an exclusive so juicy you would wish that you were an organic being so that you could savor it more.
Please, do tell.
All right, now, completely off the record until you get all the information, but there is going to be a takedown of a very important political figure within the Reach, and it's going to be devastating for their career. And I'm going to let you know exactly when and where to be when it's going to go down. Can I count on you for the coverage?
You certainly can, but you've got to give me something more. You're not telling me anything new, you're just giving me this vague sense that someone's going down. Is it going to be you? Is it going to be Scourge? Is it going to be Windblade? Who is it going to be?
Well, this figure is currently in the race, I can tell you that much. And they will not be doing much of anything else beyond that. I would love to tell you exactly who and how. I just can't trust that there is no possible way that it might leak out and rob you of your one true career-making scoop.
Ambassador, come on. You can trust me. Look at this face.
I do look at the face every time that you're interviewing me. All right. I have your comm code. I'll say this. Just be ready to move at a moment's notice when I let you know when and where. You will not be disappointed.
All right, I'll take your word for it.
And really, the waiting, doesn't that just make the acquisition all the sweeter?
Not even a little bit.
Trust that I do wish I could tell you more, but I can't. I have been sworn to secrecy until such time that it is revealed. But you are my one and only reporter I can count on to get this done. And the people need you to tell the story. They truly do.
Can I persuade you by any means, Ambassador?
I want you to roll a sense motive.
Okay. A 34. Now tell me the truth. Is that good enough?
It certainly beats his 18 on diplomacy. So you see him you hear him trying to convince you to give him some more information, but you're figuring it out. He's not being too subtle this time.
Can I make a diplomacy roll to get Circuit to accept waiting and be happy about it?
Unnecessary, because you actually haven't told him to do anything aside from just be ready for your call. If you actually gave him all that evidence and information, I'd say yeah, but you haven't actually given him any reason to either trust you or not trust you yet. You're asking a reporter just to be ready for a scoop that you have some information on.
Not a hard sell.
But yeah, he'll be ready for your call, and you feel that he will actually come when you call him, assuming, of course, it's juicy enough.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of anything I can give him to satisfy his curiosity or whatever, to give him a little bit, but nothing I can think of will actually not give away who. And that's really what I want to try to avoid telling him who, so that who doesn't wind up finding out somehow.
Right. And that's the choice you need to make. You're either going to let him in on it and trust that he's going to be quiet about it until you tell him, or you're just going to have to keep him in the dark and hopefully he'll just come when you call.
The attention hound in me is really frustrated with not keeping the reporter in his pocket, but logically I think we have to.
What's that saying? The only way that 3 people keep a secret is if 2 of them are dead?
Moving on from here. With all of the kind of prep work done on Earth before you head back to Cybertron, the five of you head back on over to the space bridge through immigration, and zoop, 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 you head through the space bridge back to Cybertron.
One last thing before we go, when I have my absolutely amazing conversation with Prime, I'm going to ask him, like, can you tell me like a little piece of like psychological warfare that I could use on Starscream so that if he were to be like in a vulnerable place, like this would totally like fuck with his head? Like, remember Poodletron? What? Like, it's just like, no, not Poodletron. Like something like.
Tell him that I once merged with his motherboard.
Oh, God. Remind him of the battle at Hell's Point. And if you do, you can take a +2 to either bluff or intimidation with that. It is the closest time he ever came to dying.
Oh.
Asterisk.
That's perfect. Yeah.
Am I going to try to confiscate my cigarettes again?
Oh, no, this is just heading out, so you're fine.
Oh, well, actually, when I go in the building, I'll take an entire pack's worth of cigarettes out and light it all. Sorry, I'm just getting rid of them before I go on the space bridge. Don't mind me.
Hey, you can't have that in here.
Well, okay, I better leave then, right? Get out of my way.
Can't take him with me. Can't take him with me. And I can't smoke him here.
Smoke him.
Nice.
You got him.
I got him.
All right, the five of you, and especially Magnum, rush through the space bridge.
No doubt hearing the smoke alarms go off.
With the immigration officer hot on your heels.
Oh dear. The fuzz is after me.
Does Legionnaire and Windblade accompany us?
Legionnaire does, Windblade does not. Windblade thinks that it's a little bit too dangerous to stay on Cybertron right now. She's probably a bit safer here on Earth, away from Starscream. If you want him to, Legionnaire will stay with Windblade to keep her safe, but that's up to you guys.
I would like to have an alloy in my pocket.
That way Starscream will know we're not just happy to see him.
Yeah. Got a pocket full of alloy. Fucks the shit out of bears.
Magnum's ashes. Starscream falls down.
The five of you emerge from the space bridge back onto Cybertron, and you each kind of split up to deal with your individual tasks before meeting back up to kind of get your final plan into motion. Wild Strike, we will start with you as you head on over to Ironhide's office. On the way, you can talk to him in just a moment, but on the way, you notice something a little bit strange as you're checking the news feeds. There's the occasional news feed about you guys, and you notice that in all of the images of the lot of you, you've been blacked out.
I have been?
Yep. Sometimes expertly, and sometimes not so expertly. And as you're kind of scanning through the feeds, you also notice that images of Starscream are now in a new body type.
That's amazing.
Oh, that is great.
Starscream made good on his promise, and he took your body type and erased all images of you.
Jeez. Yeah, it's like if Joseph Stalin was a fashionista, you know.
That's incredible.
Envy much.
Some jet envy going on here. Go ahead and head on over to Ironhide if you want.
Yep.
You get to the police precinct, you head on up the elevator to his office, and knock, knock, knock.
I mean, I would have called him beforehand, right? Just to make sure he's around.
Yeah. Yep, if you want to. Go for it.
Like when we basically get back on Cybertron, I would send him a message. Like, Ironhide, it's Wild Strike. We've uncovered some information that I need to speak to you about privately.
All right, I'll be back in my office in 10 cycles. Go ahead and meet me there.
How long's 10 cycles?
It could be.
We'll say like 10 minutes.
Okay.
It could be anywhere from 10 minutes to 10,000 years. Everything's a cycle. 10 Smurfs.
It's all cycles.
10 Smurfs. Okay. I'll head there then. And then, knock on the door. Ding dong.
Knock, knock, knock. Door slides open. Come on in, Wild Strike.
I'll head in and look around, make sure there's nobody else there.
No one else there. Door slides shut behind you. What can I help you with?
I have a lot of information about Starscream.
Yeah, sit down. Sit down. Like, you may want to sit down.
This, I'm just going to show you. This is the evidence we've collected.
You play the PowerPoint that I put in the beginning there.
Yeah, the summary.
You hook up the data slug to his machine and you go through the evidence and just like he just goes slack-jawed after like 2 minutes for all of this evidence.
Oh, we're just getting to the beginning here.
There's more past this?
Oh, plenty more. Clear schedule.
He picks up his comm, calls down to his secretary. Martha, clear my schedule.
That doesn't sound like a Transformer name.
Marthatron.
Marthatron, yeah.
Marthatron.
Marthatron.
And he'll go through all the evidence with you, and he'll ask you a couple of questions here and there just to clarify, where you got this one from. What is, if there's any a kind of weirdness to the evidence or any kind of confusion, he'll make certain that he's got everything set for it.
Yep.
Does his smile just keep getting bigger, and by the end he's just asking questions through laughter, wait, tell me again.
I forgot it was my birthday.
I know, right?
Leaking lubricants. We finally got him.
Wow.
Is it Throwback Thursday already?
And once he's done reviewing it all with you, he makes a couple of calls and starts kind of getting all of his he starts getting the legal procedures kind of going for actually taking him down, and kind of setting up getting the perimeter team together and actually thinking about how to approach this. And one of the last things he says is, Wild Strike, can I count on you and your team to be the point bots for this operation?
When we were reviewing the evidence ourselves and discussing it, we thought you might ask that. And we're all in agreement that we will help you.
You know me too well, Wild Strike.
Try and stop us.
Right? We're going to do it regardless.
Who else knows about this?
I'll tell him, our group plus Whitley.
All right. Keep this quiet. We're going to have to move on this very quickly before word leaks out, and especially because of everything that happened at the embassy. I'm afraid that word is going to get spilled from the assassination attempt. So we're going to move on this very quickly, likely tonight or even this afternoon. So make certain that you are ready to go in a few cycles' time. And by cycles, he means maybe a couple hours at most.
Okay. We'll be ready.
That's an inherent ability for all Transformers to understand which cycle you're talking about.
Right?
Yep. It's where the accent comes in cycles.
Cycles with an umlaut.
yeah, he's going to be like expecting you, all of you to be ready at almost a moment's notice today in order to do this.
Clarification, where do you want us to be, here or elsewhere when we're ready to go?
Let's assume that you'll meet here. If we come up with a different idea or a different strategy, then we'll confer with you on that as well. We might send you in first, and then we'll come in as backup after that. But for the most part, we'll assume here for now.
All right, very well. I'll let everybody know.
All right, Sweet Spot. You are heading to Zaron's, are you not?
All right. I will. I'll give him a quick comm call on my way over to make sure that he's there, so that I will not waste any time being redirected. And if he isn't, I'll ask him where he is, so I can meet him wherever he is.
You get through, no problems, and he says,
Ambassador Sweet Spot. I didn't expect to hear from you as soon as I did. What can I help you with?
Things are moving pretty quick. You at your office, I assume?
Yes, I am. Do you need to consult?
Yes, I could. Could you also make sure that I have clearance to the front door?
Oh, right. Yes, your clearance was canceled after your death. Yes, I can get you a temporary clearance. That's not a problem.
All right, thank you. I'll be there shortly. I'll say within 2 cycles.
A few seconds.
And you know which cycles I'm talking about.
Oh, of course I do. I saw the umlaut.
How did that get there? Come here, you naughty little umlaut.
and yeah, you can make it over to the diplomatic building, and true to his word, he has reinstated your diplomatic clearance, and the elevator now works for you. Bing.
Yes, I can get the cheap snacks on the 3rd floor break room. I mean, I have access to the diplomatic offices again. And I will go and see my very good friend Zaron.
All right, you get up there, knock on his door. Knock, knock, knock.
Yes, Ambassador, please, come on in.
I will come in and close the door if it doesn't automatically shut.
Yep, the door slides shut behind you.
What can I do for you, Ambassador?
I do not believe that we have a lot of time, but I need to inform you of several thousand offenses that Starscream has not only made, but we have proof thereof, and are about to pretty much confront him and get him to step down from his position, willingly or otherwise. Want to get your heads up and see that everything is about ready to go in terms of prosecution and revocation of any of his presidential powers.
That is a very bold statement. I assume you have a lot of evidence to back up this claim?
I will lend him one of the copies of the data slugs that we have of all the information. Say everything that you need to get the due process duly rolling is on this data slug.
He'll pop it in and start watching, and just like Ironhide, he just goes like slack-jawed almost immediately. Especially when you kind of look at like the timeline for it, and especially the assassination of Metalhawk, because Metalhawk was a very good friend of Zaron's. So this kind of hits him like right where it hurts.
If I notice that visually, I will put a hand on his shoulder and say, "I'm very sorry for your loss, and that you had to find out this way."
Thank you, Ambassador. Metalhawk was no Wolfang, of course, but... but he was still a very good friend.
So what happens when your follower is the most popular person on the planet? Like, what does that do?
Here's what I can do for you, Sweet Spot. The
presidential wing is very highly fortified, and if you intend on taking Starscream down, I'm assuming that you're going through official channels on this, and Chief Ironhide is going to be a part of this operation?
Being informed as we speak.
Excellent. Good. So I will share this with you. Understand that this is highly classified and should not be shared out to anyone else. Only Chief Ironhide and the ministers have access to this information. But I feel that you are going to need it if you are going to be going after Starscream.
Yes, of course.
And he pulls up a map of the diplomatic office, of Starscream's office. And also on this map, you can see the secret escape routes from his office.
Yes, I note that very well.
Mm-hmm. So he will share that with you. And you can do with that information as to what you will.
Mm-hmm.
What else can I do to support this?
If he has any diplomatic clearance or credentials that would help him get around should he escape our custody, revoking them fairly soon, almost immediately, would be beneficial to help us control his movement and keep him in custody.
I am only a minister. I can't actually revoke his clearance. There might be some things I can do to help delay it, but unfortunately, the only person who can revoke his clearance is Starscream himself. So
that seems like a really bad design. Just saying.
Well, the IT guy probably could do it too.
Right. But the idea is that in order for like a peaceful transfer of power to happen, like both parties would have to effectively say like, "Hey, I'm going to remove my own clearance and transfer to this person," kind of thing. And the person receiving it has like, "Yes, I'm been elected," yada yada yada. So it's kind of like a two-person thing.
What happens if that process is started but it is not completely cleared? Would the person's credentials be moved anyway, or would they be frozen in lieu of security until the matter can be resolved? Like maybe not take his clearance away, but maybe freeze it for investigative purposes.
There's something I might be able to do. I'm not certain if it'll work, but I will try. So. And you get the sense that he's going to try something that's maybe quasi-illegal in order to get this working for you guys.
We're such a good influence.
Well, it's only illegal if we lose.
All right, thank you for bringing this to me, Ambassador.
Yes, one other thing. Because you know what kind of a bot Starscream is, and now you have the confirmed proof in your hand. I would say be very, very careful yourself. We have no idea who he will blame and or lash out at in his final death throes politically.
You as well, Ambassador. We've painted targets on our own backs, unfortunately.
Well, I've already died, so I feel I've crossed that bridge.
All right. Good luck to you, Ambassador. Contact me when you are ready to move against him.
I will send a signal, a simple text now, and you'll understand what that means.
You're like, "Happy birthday." Wait, what? Oh, yeah. Okay.
All of you, after dealing with your individual things, will meet back up outside of the ISS building and just compare notes, make certain that you're all on the same page as to the plan and when you're going to need to jump in for this. As Sweet Spot is sharing the layout of Starscream's office and pointing out kind of ingress and egress routes, you all get a comm ping from Ironhide.
And we all look at it.
All right, bots. Mission is going down in 1 cycle. Be ready, and you're going to head in first. The ISS will cordon off the building, and the 5 of you are going to take point on this.
All right. I will send 2 specific texts, and you know to whom, and you know what they say.
Stay frosty, gentlemen, and we'll see you next time.
Fuck yeah! Yeah!
Gonna be a takedown.
From the secret files of Teletran 1, Empire of Rust is written and GM'd by Michael Ordway. Headmaster Magnum and his partner Pythagoras are played by Matthew G. Candidate Sweet Spot, representative of Velocitron, is played by Adam H.U. The Decepticon warrior Wild Strike and his partner Nyko are played by Mike M. And Carapace, the beast soldier of primitive Eucharis, is played by Patrick Finn. Additional characters are played by Michael and Cassandra Ordway. Empire of Rust is supported by the humans and networks of planet Earth, whose online networks provide access to libraries of sound effects and music, such as Storyblocks, Zasplat, Blue Zone, and Dark Fantasy Studios. We are distributed by the Transmissions Podcast Network. Stay up to date with all the latest news and reviews in the world of the Transformers by going to transmissionspodcast.com or searching for the Transmissions in your podcast app of choice. You can communicate with the heroes of Iacon by joining us on the Transmissions Discord channel. There you can discuss episodes, talk to the cast, and download the rule set used in the Empire of Rust. Teletran 1, signing off.